Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janvalabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janvalabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janvalabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janvalabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Gau Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Together. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devang saraswating vyasam tato jayam udirayet nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityang bhagavata sevaya bhagavat uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. So we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Canto 10, chapter 44, verses 22 and 23. Nācalat tat-prahāreṇa mālāhata ivā dvipaḥ bāhvor nigṛhya cāṇūraṁ bahuśo bhrāmayan hariḥ bhū-pṛṣṭhe pothayām tarasā kṣīṇa jīvitam visrastākalpa-keśa-srag indra-dhvaja ivāpatat nācalat tat-prahāreṇa mālāhata dvipaḥ bāhvor nigṛhya cāṇūraṁ bahuśo bhrāmayan hariḥ bhū-pṛṣṭhe pothayām āsa tarasā jīvitam visrastākalpa-keśa-srag indra-dhvaja ivāpatat Mataji's. Nācalat. He, Lord Kṛṣṇa, did not move. Tat-prahāreṇa, because of his blows. Mālā, with a garland. Āhata, struck. As. Dvipaḥ, an elephant. Bāhvor, by the two arms. Nigṛhya, seizing. Cāṇūraṁ, cāṇūra. Bahuśo, several times. Bhrāmayan, whirling him around. Hariḥ, Lord Kṛṣṇa. Bhū, of the earth. Pṛṣṭhe, onto the surface. Pothayām, hurled. Tarasā, forcefully. kṣīṇa, becoming lost. Jīvitam, his life. visrastākalpa, scattered, akalpa, his clothing, keśa, hair, srag, and flower garland, indra-dhvajaḥ, a tall festival column, as if, ivāpatat, he fell. Translation and purport by the followers of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. No more shaken by the demon's mighty blows than an elephant struck with a flower garland. Lord Kṛṣṇa grabbed Cāṇūra by his arms, swung him around several times, and hurled him onto the ground with great force. His clothes, hair, and garland scattering, the wrestler fell down dead like a huge festival column collapsing. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami explains the words indra-dhvaja as follows. In Bengal, on the occasion of a certain festival, people erect a tall column in the form of a man and decorate it with flags, banners, etc. He, Cāṇūra, fell just as such a pole might fall. Any questions? Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistang Stapitang Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namaom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pascha Deshatarane Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Sri Vrindavan Dham and Krishna's pastimes in the 10th canto, they're like real life in the sense that we're in Vrindavan, we're hearing about Krishna Balaram. We heard how when Kamsa was told by Narada Muni that Vasudeva took Krishna and brought him to Vrindavan, and Krishna Balaram are actually the sons of Vasudeva, and oh boy, Kamsa got so upset he wanted to kill Vasudeva on the spot. So he had a plan. He made this wrestling festival. He sent a Kṛūra with a new chariot to go get Krishna and Balaram. And the whole way Kṛūra was feeling, oh, maybe Krishna will be upset because, under the order of Kamsa, I am going to bring them to Mathura so Kamsa can perform his activities of trying to kill Krishna. But at the same time, he was really meditating on Krishna Balaram, that no, when I arrive, they'll greet me nicely and I'll get to see them personally and feel so much happiness. So as the Kṛūra entered Vrindavan, he immediately jumped off his chariot and rolled in the dust. He saw the footprints of Krishna all around Vrindavan. Just imagine how lucky we are. Lord Brahma and all the demigods pray to Krishna, please, you advent yourself personally to come and protect your devotees and kill the demons. So Krishna, even though he has so many duties and responsibilities, really none, his only pleasure is to give pleasure to his devotees and to reestablish religious principles, because there are those who are nitya baddha, eternally conditioned, meaning that we have misused our independence. somehow or other we've forgotten Kṛṣṇa. And as a result of forgetting Kṛṣṇa and all the Nitya Siddhas, the eternal residents who are having loving relationships in the spiritual world of Vaikuntha, Goloka, Vrindavan, they're having so much fun and having so much love and exchanges, but somehow curiosity killed the cat. You know, we had a desire to try to enjoy, and so Kṛṣṇa expands himself, and from his breathing come unlimited universes, heavenly planets, middle planetary systems, hellish planets, so many forms of life, all kinds of experience. You want to have an experience? You can do it as a demigod, as a human being, as an animal, as a worm, anything. So many experiences are available. So here we are, Kṛṣṇa is performing his transcendental pastimes in Vrindavan Dham, killing Putana, Trinavarta, so many demons which Kamsa sent. But when Akrura came, he was greeted wonderfully by Kṛṣṇa and Balaram. They gave him nice food and take bath and take rest. Then they inquired, "Uncle, why you have come?" "Oh, I was asked by Kamsa to bring you to this festival, this wrestling match. Bring Nanda, Yashoda, bring the cowherd men. You're all invited by the king for a great festival." So they start preparing. But when gopis heard about this, they got really upset with Akrura, because Akrura means kind, or anyway, somehow his name didn't fit the profile of being kind, because he was very unkind to take Kṛṣṇa and Balaram away from the gopis and the cowherd boys, Nanda and Yashoda. And although they're Nitya Siddhas, eternal residents, but they show by their love, by their intensity of wanting to be with Kṛṣṇa and serve Kṛṣṇa and love him in all kinds of wonderful ways, forgetting about family, forgetting about tradition and all the different, just like we heard previously, how the brahmanas, although they followed rules and regulations and performed various rituals and mantras to serve, but when Kṛṣṇa and Balaram wanted food, no, we're too busy performing our, come, go back, go away. But the wives of the brahmanas, their husbands were surprised. You haven't performed any austerities, lived in the ashram of the guru, or performed, strict celibacy, or performed any mantras, tantras, sacrifices, yagyas, nothing. Just spontaneously you love Kṛṣṇa, like example of Kripa Siddha, even one who doesn't necessarily follow all the rules and regulations, not that we should think ourselves in that category, but one can become blessed by Kṛṣṇa or Guru and get Kripa Siddha. So somehow Akrura was bringing Kṛṣṇa and Balaram. The gopis refused to let him go. They threw their bodies in front of the chariot. So much love. It's just amazing how much this love for Kṛṣṇa is exhibited by the residents of Vrindavan, especially the gopis, Nanda and Yashoda. So here it is, Kṛṣṇa and Balaram. They end up in Mathura, and they heard so much. The residents of Mathura heard so much about Kṛṣṇa, his beauty, his activities, and they were very excited to have an opportunity to personally see Kṛṣṇa and Balaram from the tops of the roofs of their houses, especially all the ladies and young girls. And Kṛṣṇa is super attractive for everyone in the universe. People, just by seeing him, by hearing his flute, they're completely mesmerized and melt with love for Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa and Balaram, I wasn't here for all the classes, but I'm sure it was described how they're entering Mathura, and I think first of all they wanted to get the nice clothes from that washerman, and he was chastising, "These belong to the king, how dare you?" So Kṛṣṇa didn't like that, so with his hand he lopped off his head. And they put on all the nice clothing and shared with his friends. So some of the activities, or maybe all of them, may appear like ordinary human activities. Kṛṣṇa performs, and even great personalities, pure devotees, they perform activities which may not be understandable by common people. We start because we think that Kṛṣṇa may be the powerful or some demigod. Many of the occurrences when the Nanda was being asked by all the cowherd men, how is it Kṛṣṇa held up Govardhan hill? Kṛṣṇa and Balaram must be some big demigods or something. Although Vasudeva and Devaki understood Kṛṣṇa to be the supreme personality of Godhead, and then we think that how could Kṛṣṇa's mother and father be subjected to so much torture by Kamsa, so much suffering. But the pure devotee, they're always in the bhava, in the mood of always thinking of Kṛṣṇa, experiencing. That's why they say Kṛṣṇa never leaves Vrindavan, because he's always present in his bhava form, in his remembrance. And that's even more intense, meeting with Kṛṣṇa, more that vipralamba, this separation. But it's hard to understand. You think, well, I'd rather be able to see Kṛṣṇa and be with Kṛṣṇa and dance with Kṛṣṇa. Why should I experience Kṛṣṇa just by the way the gopis and Radharani and all the rest of the Brijabasis were feeling so much pain for not being with Kṛṣṇa? But that pain was a special kind of ecstasy. So here they are, and also Kubja, she offered nice sandalwood. She was maidservant of Kamsa, who was very pleased with her. And Kṛṣṇa, a very joking way, grabbed her by the cheeks and straightened her out. She became a beautiful girl, but she wouldn't let go. She wanted Kṛṣṇa, no, you come. And, yes, later I will be here. So we all have different desires and different levels. And these desires, those who are in the mode of goodness, they get elevated to the heavenly planets where the duration of life is long, a beautiful body, beautiful opulences. But then those who are in the mode of passion, they may be in the middle planetary systems. They're given some opportunity to try to enjoy in this world. But then those who are influenced by ignorance, because our pure love for Kṛṣṇa has been tainted and covered over, then we perform sinful activities. Kṛṣṇa comes, and the Vedic literatures are specifically meant for guiding all of us who are in this material world and are lost, looking for that happiness. It's like you're in a desert, you're living on an oasis, and so there's some greenery there, and it's a very nectarine water, but you go off in the dry desert looking for water, and there's no water there. Kṛṣṇa's here, present in our heart. We are Satchidananda, we're part of Kṛṣṇa, servants of Kṛṣṇa, and this Kṛṣṇa, love for Kṛṣṇa is present within us. But instead of turning to Kṛṣṇa, we're looking for happiness in the material world. And somehow, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Kṛṣṇa Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Everyone is wandering from the higher planets down to the lower planets, different universes, different bodies. So much facility is given by Kṛṣṇa. But then, I'm just finishing the 5th canto, Hellish Planets. So although the philosophy is very intriguing, we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Janmad, Yasya Yaton Vayaditaratas Charteshu Vigyaswarat. Krishna's creating everything. But not only are we bewildered, the demigods are bewildered. Look at Indra, he tried to destroy the Brijabasis. Look at Brahma, he tried to steal the calves and cows and trick Kṛṣṇa. I'll prove this cowherd boy is not Kṛṣṇa. And Kṛṣṇa somehow, he's just performing his leela. And we're so fortunate that we get to hear what Lord Brahma was instructed by Kṛṣṇa. And Lord Brahma instructed Narada Muni, and instructed Vyasadeva and Shukadev Goswami, the whole Guru Parampara, and the 6 Goswamis. They've gathered all this Vedic literature and boiled it down to understandable matter, because it's very difficult for those in Kali Yuga. We don't have the proper intelligence, the proper brain power. We have a tendency to speculate, to make mistakes. We have a cheating propensity, because even though we're thinking, oh, I'm following rules and regulations and rituals, I'm a good person, I'm wealthy, I'm powerful. All these identifications with the body and the surroundings of the body, thinking, I was born in a good family, Brahmin family. I know I used to work Sankirtan in New York. I'm not criticizing, but there was a Jewish holiday, and these Jewish boys would be going, are you Jewish? No. Go to next. It's like only selective, that only those persons are or sometimes even we think we're the only ones, or the Muslims think, or the Christians think, or the Hindus think. But Jivera Swarupoi Kṛṣṇa Nityadas, everyone is servant of Kṛṣṇa, and everyone has a misidentification. And until we surrender to Kṛṣṇa, we'll not get out of this illusion. And then the Srimad Bhagavatam is actually the Lord incarnated. We're thinking, how can talking about a wrestling match, anyway, we'll get to that. When Kṛṣṇa and Balaram were going to come for the festival of they went to the sacrificial arena first, where there was a big bow, huge bow, very heavy. And the guards said, no, don't come, don't touch. But they didn't care for the guards. So Kṛṣṇa and Balaram, Kṛṣṇa strung it, immediately snapped it in half. And then they all attacked, kill them, kill them. They attacked Kṛṣṇa and Balaram. So Kṛṣṇa and Balaram each had a half of the bow, and they beat all these servants of Kamsa. He even sent a little troop of soldiers, and they got all completely wasted. Now Kuvalayapada, the big elephant, big powerful elephant. They used to be in battles, actually, if you see some Mahabharata old series stories, how the elephants would carry the soldiers or the kings and warriors, and the elephants with their trunks and tusks would also be participant in the battle. So this elephant keeper was prodding the elephant on, and Kṛṣṇa and Balaram were trying to go into the arena but the plan was that the elephant would kill them. But Kṛṣṇa, he played around a little bit, but then he killed the elephant and everybody else. And here they are, and these Cāṇūra and Muṣṭika, Salva, many others, I think they're all being named one after another in the next few verses. Okay, we'll get that. And Cāṇūra was trying to convince that the king, Kamsa, he wants to have fun and see. We know that you cowherd boys go out during the day, you're herding the cows and calves, and you wrestle. So this is a wrestling match. He wants to see you wrestle. And Kṛṣṇa told him, well, it's not quite fair. We're just little boys just playing, and you're seasoned, very strong wrestlers. How is this fair? No. We know you've killed this elephant and you killed all the soldiers. We know that you're powerful. You can handle it. So Cāṇūra started fighting with Kṛṣṇa and Muṣṭika with Balaram. And they're exhibiting all the art of wrestling. I'm sure many people, they know how popular the wrestling and fighting is. People watch it all the time, that one person, fighting another person. It seems to be very entertaining. So they wanted to give entertainment. Kamsa arranged this in such a way so that he can try to kill the boys. But all the citizens of Mathura, especially the ladies, they didn't like this. They said, how is this fair? It's not very acceptable that these great, powerful wrestlers who can completely smash, are fighting with these little boys. It's not proper. And everyone saw the Kṛṣṇa in different ways. But Kṛṣṇa saw that everyone was in anxiety, so naturally Kṛṣṇa doesn't want to see his devotees in anxiety. So he wanted to finish off this Cāṇūra. He took them by the hands and whipped them around and smashed them on the ground. The way Kamsa was smashing all the sons and all of Devaki. So Cāṇūra was finished, also Muṣṭika was finished. And of course, we'll see how Kṛṣṇa takes care of Kamsa. and performs his transcendental pastimes. But Srila Prabhupada, he had such a gift, a message. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, all Vaishnavas have this intense desire to help the conditioned souls. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he was tortured in so many ways by his father, Hiranyakashipu. But still, after Lord Nrsimhadev killed his father, Prahlad was okay. So Prahlad, what can I give you a benediction. Oh, I don't want anything. But if you can, save my father, because this kind of compassion, even though we have mentality of friends and enemies, this is my friend, this is my enemy, and mostly people, to become number one, you have to, the survival of the fittest, those who are in a superior position want to put down others. But devotees are paradukha dukhi, Titikshava karunika suhrida sarvadehanam, ajata shatrava sadava sadabhushana. Very tolerant, they're very merciful, they're kind to all living beings. And so we have these qualities. Love of God means that we're developing godly qualities. We can't say, oh, you've advanced so high in your devotional service, but if we're not exhibiting tolerance and cleanliness, truthfulness, so many of yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati kinchana, the godly qualities which are in Kṛṣṇa are also in us. But the more we associate with the modes of material nature and materialistic persons, then the more we try to satisfy our desires, the more we try to satisfy our lust, our greed, our anger. Even that song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gopinath, I'm just full of lust, save me from my desires to enjoy in this world. Whether you think, oh, I'm not so lusty. Everyone is lusty to one degree or another. Everyone is greedy. And anger is there, isn't it? So how to clean that dirty heart? Cheto darpana marjanam. Lord Chaitanya, Kṛṣṇa himself, he came and he exhibited by his behavior the process of being a devotee fully surrendered to Kṛṣṇa. So Srila Prabhupada, under the guidance of the 6 Goswamis, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he lived a perfect example. Even though he had family, he had business, he had an opportunity to become very, very successful, but somehow that order of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was always in his heart. He wanted to fulfill that order. So Srila Prabhupada, even though under all challenges and difficulties, how to get a proper permission from the government, it's so hard. We know how hard it is to get permission from the government. You have to do so many things to convince them. And somehow, miraculously, a person he didn't even know said, oh, my son can sponsor you. Okay. Prabhupada thought nothing of it. All of a sudden, he gets a sponsorship miraculously to come to America. Who would imagine? From someone he doesn't even know. And he comes, and he's still undergoing so much struggle and so many demons. Like Kṛṣṇa had to kill so many demons, so Prabhupada had to put up with so many challenges and difficulties. What to speak of the early devotees who surrendered. We had no understanding how to properly treat a pure devotee or how to behave on a spiritual platform. And material world is full of materialistic people. In Kali Yuga, Kali Kalir Dharma Kṛṣṇa Nam Sankirtan. So in order to perform the Dharma, to perform the religious duties, which are it's an obligation for human life in particular, because of course animals can't perform religious duties, and demigods are too busy enjoying, but they are pious. but they take, even after you've gone to the heavenly planets, still you come back to the earth. And in the human form of life, we're given a special opportunity. And we may think, well, there's only a few people. If you think of the billions of people, how many billion people are there on earth? 8 billion? A lot of people. And most everyone is basically identifying with the body. I am this body. My family is the most important thing. My children, my wife, my society, my nation, my religion. This is my religion, that's your religion. We don't agree, let's fight. And then, let's perform some ritualistic, what is it? Dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. That we perform religious principles and duties so that, we're somewhat pious, that we know that by performing religious duties we'll get money, artha, success. Then we can satisfy our kama, our desires in this world. And then when we get frustrated, when we know that there's no real happiness in what we thought was going to be happiness, oh, you're so beautiful, oh, you're so nice, let's try to have happiness together. But it's not real happiness, because what's going to happen? Old age, disease, and death. Prabhupada, in his last days here in Vrindavan, told the devotees, don't think this won't happen to you. Sometimes death is kept in the background. Someone dies and then the ambulance comes and wraps the body and put it away. Let's burn it, let's bury it, do something, We want to enjoy life. We don't want to think about birth, old age, disease, and death, and suffering. But this is the reality. And then what to speak of being attracted, even though so many may hear, like every day we're sending out recordings, not everyone is listening or hearing the Bhagavatam, Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya, daily. We have to start hearing from Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa sarvasya chahang hridi sanavishto matat smriti jnanam ponam cha. He's in my heart, he's in your heart, he's in everyone's heart. And he's giving guidance and encouragement. He sent Srila Prabhupada, he sent the Goswamis and all this Vedic literature. The Kṛṣṇa book is amazing. Srimad Bhagavatam is amazing. Chaitanya Charitamrita, nectar of devotion, nectar of instruction. We have so much guidance, but we're thinking, oh, this is not enough. I need to also study all the Upanishads, learn Sanskrit, and maybe I need to hear what this Acharya has to say and that Acharya has to say, and maybe I should follow this path or that path. Sometimes people leave, unfortunately, and they want to follow another system, which they think, well, maybe this other system is... No, this is the essence. And whether you believe, the proof of the pudding is in the tasting, meaning that if we follow what Prabhupada has given us in the form of coming and seeing the deities, that especially one who's a sadhaka, someone who's trying to advance in his spiritual life and give up his bad habits of material life, to rise early in the morning is essential. To come and see, not only see, but praise and worship the deity who is present. You say, well, Krishna's present everywhere. He's in my room. He's everywhere. Why I should come? Matter of fact, I don't feel like I can perform that austerity. But Prabhupada, just imagine from the very beginning, he thought that once I tell people no intoxication, no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, chanting the Lord's names and following a regimen, a strict regimen to help get free of the disease. People say, go away, Swami, I'm not interested. Even some big lord from England said, impossible, not possible. So it may seem insurmountable because the mind is difficult to control. And of all the senses, the tongue is most voracious. That means we want to eat nicely, and from the tongue, and then we want to enjoy sense gratification. This is our embodiment. This is why we've come to the material world. So how can you tell me to stop the things which my whole life is dedicated to? But it's like a diseased person when he sees the severity of the disease and he takes the medicine or he takes the instruction of the doctor, Srila Prabhupada, and the Vedic literature, and follows the sadhana bhakti carefully, then we can stop this horrible repetition of birth and death. Because honestly, after reading the hellish planets, it seems like, wow, this seems like very extreme. But even in other religions, Christianity, you see the hellfires and the vultures ripping you apart. And you think, well, for some simple things that you didn't treat a guest properly, or you looked at them with crossed eyes, or, oh, there's a severe punishment. These vultures and birds come and pluck out your eyes. You think, ah. Or if you are trying to enjoy your senses to some capacity, there's very severe consequences for everything that we do. We may not have the vision or understanding or belief that hell exists or that the sufferings, but these sufferings are based on the body. For the najayate, namriyate, vakadache, nayang bhutva, bhavata, vanabuya, ajonitya shashvata yang purano, nahanyate, hanyamane, sharire. Soul's eternal, ever-existing, undying, primeval, has all the godly qualities. It has, everything is available. We have everything. But still, we leave our little oasis. We don't turn our face towards Kṛṣṇa, but we run in the dry desert looking for that few drops of happiness. But materialistic life is suffering. So a devotee, one who's not interested to associate with materialists, this is the sign of a devotee. Those Vaishnavas, if you are, by hearing about Kṛṣṇa and these beautiful pastimes, if you're sitting with the devotees and you're hearing the chanting, you heard nice kirtan taking place all day long, nice kirtan. There's singing, there's dancing. Every day there's a feast, practically speaking. And beautiful philosophy, beautiful, beautiful deities, so much opportunity for service. And what is that service? Hearing Kṛṣṇa, chanting Kṛṣṇa's name. You may feel unqualified to do anything else, but if we can broadcast the message of Kṛṣṇa for others' benefit, Kṛṣṇa is happy. Prite vite achayadu nagaradigram sarvatra prachara hoibe moranam. So we have a mission, Prabhupada's mission, to give Kṛṣṇa consciousness even at such an old age and with so much difficulty still traveling. He's up early translating this Bhagavatam, which are his personal ecstasies. Krishna's dictating these words in the Bhagavatam are like keys to unlock the treasure of Krishna Prem, love for Kṛṣṇa. And previously, in other incarnations, the Lord is kind, always kind, but in this present incarnation as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he thought, man, these people in Kali Yuga, they have no hope. So out of sheer kindness and magnanimity, that Rupa Goswami said, oh, you're the most kind, benevolent Lord, that he's freely giving this Mahamantra, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we should mold our lives and our schedule in such a way that we can get up early. And what's the secret for getting up early? Go to bed early, right? Take rest early. Because in your mind you're thinking, I want to get up early because I have a chance to hear Bhagavatam, or I have a chance to participate in seeing the darshan of the deities and sing the Guru Puja for the Jagat Guru, Savior of the world, and saving from the repetition of birth and death, saving us from suffering in this world. And it's not like we can just think that, oh yes, I've already heard, I've chanted, I'm okay, so let me just leisurely take it easy. We don't take it easy. We become more enthusiastic and work even harder than a materialist. Work harder for Kṛṣṇa. We use everything in Kṛṣṇa's service. And when you're out in Sankirtan, we're not thinking, oh, why I got to be here. No, you're thinking, these people are suffering and we have the answer to all the problems. Just they touch the book, if they hear the book, hear the message of Bhagavatam, or hear the holy name, or have a chance to come to the temple and see the deities. So we need to regulate ourselves in such a way that we try, more than try, we actually execute the order of Srila Prabhupada, and gradually, as you're cleaning something, then gradually the tarnish, sometimes, now we have very brilliant, all the metal, the silver and the brass. Devotees are working hard and everything's polished to a high gloss. So by following Prabhupada's instructions, by chanting Krishna's name, by hearing every day the Bhagavatam, not being lazy and just sitting around like and vegetate, and thinking that others are doing, there's no need for me to do anything. Yeyatamang prapajate tang sataiva bhajamyaham. Kṛṣṇa reciprocates with us accordingly. If you're eager for Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa is eager for you. He wants to bring you home. But if you're thinking in a casual way, and Kṛṣṇa is also casual, it's not that he's equal to everyone, but we ourselves have to, get that little pilot, that little flame into a blazing fire, and that comes by regularly hearing and chanting. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kṛṣṇa Balarama ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki. So it's nice, I was in New Ramanreti in Florida. They have also deity Gornitai, Kṛṣṇa Balaram, and Radhashama Sundar. So it was very fortunate. But we have such a wonderful opportunity. Anyone have any questions, comments, corrections? Mataji has a question?
Hare Krishna, Guru. Thank you so much for your inspiring class. How can we overcome complacency and laziness?
How to overcome complacency and laziness. That is a problem that many of us encounter. I think it's a matter of also awakening our intelligence, because people are not using their intelligence right now. They're just driven by the desires. We're enslaved by the mind and our senses. So we're being given intelligence by Kṛṣṇa in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the form hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, then Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, everything comes after that. So our first principle is attentive hearing. And if we're hearing attentively, then this awakens within us the desire to not be lazy, to not be lethargic or just like a couch potato or something, So I would say this process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu is the only process at any time. Hearing about Kṛṣṇa and chanting His glories will awaken the enthusiasm we require to get over our laziness. But if we're not hearing, we don't want to hear, then we want to be lazy, we want to cut corners, no one knows I'm not here anyway, it's okay. And it's not just ritualistic. I'm not saying that we have to become just ritualistic. We should actually want to see the deity, want to, participate in the kirtan and want to hear the glories of Kṛṣṇa. Then these are signs that we're making advancement, and naturally the laziness goes away because we see how hard Srila Prabhupada worked for Kṛṣṇa, to glorify Kṛṣṇa. Any other questions, comments? Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Our philosophy is that there is no material obstacle.
Our philosophy is
That there is no material obstacles.
no material obstacles.
Consciousness. It seems that some devotees might have health issues, they can't develop well-being, but they have some addictions from childhood or something.
So some devotees have health issues and various addictions from childhood, you said?
And so it does appear as they're trying, but then because of these obstacles, they're not able to apply.
So there are no obstacles in spiritual life, but then we see that there are challenges and why am I getting sick? I'm trying to serve nicely, or why is this lust and why is this anger and greed still bothering me? I'm trying to follow the program. Why are these obstacles coming in front of me? It's like this to give us more and more strength, in the sense that we see through the Bhagavatam how the Pandavas underwent so much trial and tribulation, banished to the forest. They tried to kill them in so many ways, so much struggle. They lost their wife. They wanted to disrobe her, make her naked in assembly. And it's like we can't even imagine the obstacles. And you think, well, why all these obstacles in devotional service? It just makes us stronger, to force us to take shelter of Kṛṣṇa, because we have no recourse. We're always thinking, by my own intelligence and by my own abilities, I'm going to overcome this. I'm sick. I'm going to find the right cure. The doctors. I'm having troubles. I'm going to make an arrangement to make a remedy for my troubles. But when we realize that we have nothing other than we have to surrender to Kṛṣṇa. We have to surrender mind, surrender our bodies. And whatever difficulties are there, we accept them as a token punishment. Could be like a punishment, but atonement. That these challenges are coming so that to really test me to see if I genuinely want to surrender to Kṛṣṇa. When Draupadi gave up the idea of trying to hold the sari, or she just put her hands in the air and oh Kṛṣṇa, hey Kṛṣṇa. So until we become to the level of full surrender, and sometimes if you're always healthy and everything's going the way you want it to go, and there are no challenges and no obstacles, you think, oh, Kṛṣṇa, who's that? Kṛṣṇa? Oh yeah, Kṛṣṇa. No, when you're in a difficult situation, when you're in dire, you have no other place, no other way to turn other than surrender to Kṛṣṇa, then this helps our solidify and strengthen our spiritual resolution. You become more resolved and more determined to surrender to Kṛṣṇa. So the difficulties will be there. Don't think it won't happen to you. We'll all get sick, we'll all get diseased, and we'll all leave this body. But our consciousness should be like Srila Prabhupada. He was fixed. It's all in Kṛṣṇa's hands. Always fixed on the Lord. And that fixed mentality comes from hearing and chanting. And despite the difficulties, like I said, Lord Chaitanya, you're my Lord unconditionally, whether you embrace me or make me broken-hearted by not being present before me. So in one sense, it's like that I might be in all kinds of difficulties, or I might be embracing Kṛṣṇa, but you're my Lord unconditionally. So we're being taught by Mother Nature and by the obstacles to take shelter of Kṛṣṇa. We have no other shelter. If Kṛṣṇa wants to protect you, no one can harm you. If Kṛṣṇa wants to kill you, no one can protect you. What to do? We just take it as Kṛṣṇa's blessing on us to give us more determination. So I hear the stomachs rumbling, a time for prasad. So, all glory to Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Right? No more now.